and I see a lot of fighting and bickering. And I'm like, they're your kids. Like, you gotta enjoy them.
Absolutely.
And so...
Not everybody has a deep love like you have. It's okay. It's a good love. Okay.
It's just, I think this is one of the things you really get to... You get to enjoy them. You understand the immense gift that God gave you when He gave you your kids. Because I've always said that they're a gift from God.
Absolutely.
And, like, to be able to be those girls' mom.
Yo, what's the word? It's all love. Fulltime Father Podcast. We back at y'all with another episode. And I do have a special guest. And I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hey, everybody. So my name is Elle. I'm very grateful that you've extended this invitation.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you here. I've had the pleasure to have a couple conversations with her a few times, and they were always inspiring. So I told her about what I'm doing, and actually she wanted to be a part of it. She has kids, of course. You would have been on this episode. You would have been on our podcast without any kids. So she has a different aspect than I have as far as parenting, a different dynamic. So we're going to get into that. Well, first and foremost, how you been?
Not too bad. Like everybody else with the blizzards and freezing temps. Yeah, staying warm. How about yourself?
Oh, man,
How's this week been
same.
for you?
Man, kids at home. Man, they're home. So, that's always, it mixes up your week, when you have different things planned and stuff. So, I'm fortunate not to be working a 9 to 5 right now. So, it wasn't a really big deal for me, but I know that impacted a lot of parents,
Absolutely.
So them depending on going to school for them to be daycare, then you got parents that work overnight and then they sleep during the day, but now their kids are at home. And just because school closed, they might still have to be at work tonight and probably going in and out for fumes. So
Exactly. Yep. Everybody has a different situation to attack, and, you just roll with it.
Absolutely. So, what strategies have you found effective in maintaining open communication and cooperations with your child's father while co-parenting?
So I've actually been now divorced for 10 years. So the adjustments actually have, they have happened. What we do is we do have a decree, a parenting agreement. We follow it as best as we can. Also knowing that things are going to happen, and so don't get overly excited about it. It's going to turn around on you as well. You may need something one time, and if you're agreeable, they'll be agreeable with you.
Absolutely.
So I figured that's the best way. It doesn't always work out. Obviously you're not together, and there will be disagreements, but in the long run, you're looking out for your kids, so that's what matters.
That's the main thing. You're just having that the best interest for the kids at heart always. Man, that's such a powerful dynamic, and a lot of parents are missing that. Just to have that understanding with their I can't say spouse, but with the person that they made a child with.
Right. Well, he is the father of my daughters, and no matter what, at the end of the day, what I do, what I don't do, my girls are seeing that. So
Absolutely.
how much of that is going to affect them? Everything that I do, the way I talk about them, the way I don't talk, so keeping that in mind, and also knowing that it's really not, unless it's something that is a medical emergency, most things will resolve themselves.
Absolutely.
There will be a solution, and I think that's the first thing you have to remember, that whatever the problem is, there will be a solution for it. You either find that solution, hopefully you can talk to the co-parent, and you can come to an agreement, and if you can't, you gotta, you just gotta
learn how to agree to disagree.
Exactly, because again, the world's not going to come to an end as long as the kids are good, they're safe. Relatively, like I said, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and we have things in line that now it's just, I hate to say automatic, but this is our lives now.
Mm-hmm.
This is our.
It's a system set up.
Yes, this is our system, and I don't like to say. Maybe it's just my my trauma. I don't like to say divorce or like split up. The fact is that we are together, and I like to tell my girls since the beginning, you have two homes, and that's the reality of it. They have two homes. You have the home with your dad, and you have the home with your mom. What dad does, what his rules are, you guys have to abide by those. What my rules are, you have to abide by those. So that's worked out. Again, trying to keep communication. I guess haven't answered your question completely, but keeping the communication with emails, with text messages, phone calls if you have to have them. And that was a lot at the beginning too, because emotions were high, things like that. So now that we've maneuvered through a lot of that, and I'm not going to say that we're human. We still have emotions. We still see things. We may not see things eye to eye, and that's okay. But try to maneuver. Try to give each other that. Hey, this is giving you a heads up. This is going to happen. Same thing, And so even at exchanges, hey, blah blah blah, and same thing. Anything new happen? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's just giving each other that courtesy.
Absolutely. Communication is everything.
Absolutely.
Every type of relationship, friendship, or whatever it is, any partnership, whatever, communication has to happen on a regular basis, so there's no misunderstandings.
Well, communication has to happen, whether there's no misunderstanding. That may still happen. But trying to just diffuse that.
Absolutely.
And saying, how much of it do you have? How much control do you have over the situation? And what I've learned, that what I have control over is me.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. Everybody has their own thinking. The kids have their own thinking. So to, again, lessen everything, know who's in control of who. I'm in control of me. That's it.
Absolutely. One of my favorite saying is, everyone lives in their own reality. Nobody lives in actual reality. So life is perspective. You know what I mean? So something that might be important to you may not be as important as the next person, and vice versa. So,
yep.
Absolutely. How old are your kids?
So, like I said, I've gone through this for quite a while now. My oldest is now a young adult, and my oldest is a young adult, and my youngest just became a teenager. So they're 7 years apart. So
thing.
Yeah, so it's been an adventure. The oldest lived through more of that emotional period. The youngest still has lived through some of it, but I think it's been lessened. And just being able to treat each one as an individual. And I think you would do that regardless if you had two homes or if you only had one home.
Absolutely. Yeah, that gap between the teenager and the youngest, that's what I'm dealing with now. My oldest is 14, my youngest is 7, and man, they're at each other's neck all day long. But at the end of the day, when they go to sleep, my youngest don't want to sleep by herself, so she jump in the bed with my oldest, and she lets her. They be bickering and fighting all day long, but they'll wake up together with no problem. So
nice.
I love it. Nice. Can you share any challenges you face while co-parenting and how you've overcome them for the sake of your child, for your kids?
There's a number of challenges. I think any situation can be a challenge. Again, it's just figuring out what's the best for them. In the earlier years, the thing that comes to mind right now is I was having a family event, and my family is, when I talk about family event, I'm referring to grandparents and uncles,
Mm-hmm.
cousins, and so we actually went to do a photo shoot. Um, and I had asked prior, hey, I know the girls are going to go back to you after this, but I want to have family wants to have a little bit more time, and it was a complete no. They, when they got to be back, when I'm picking them up, and so that was heartbreaking because it wasn't something that just affected me, but it affected the entire family, and so um, dealing with that, you do get emotional. You're like, oh, I can't believe you're being this way. Like, ease up. Thinking about it, it's like, okay, yes, it was hard, but at the same time, when you have too much flexibility, I think people start taking advantage.
Absolutely.
Things start going awry. So as hard as things are, having those timelines, having those guidelines, as much as you don't want them, you're like, oh, but and stepping back and saying, you know what, it's actually better. And some people fight you and say, no, I'm not going to have anybody tell me what to do, this, that, and the other. But in the long run, your kids, when you have stability, when you have that, hey, this is the way it's got to go, you know both sides.
Absolutely.
So, could I have been angry and been like, oh, well, I'm going to get you back later? Yeah, I definitely could do that. But where does that take us then?
It's a cycle.
It's a vicious cycle that never ends, that you're constantly fighting. This was unfair. And who ends up getting hurt? It's the kids.
Absolutely.
Because it's this never ending thing. And so that particular situation, yeah, it would have been nice to have had more time with the family and, let's go have a meal together, this, that, and the other. And we could have done all that stuff, but it just didn't happen. It just wasn't for that instance, it didn't happen. And so you move forward. You say, okay, well, it's unfortunate. And it's not easy to say, I mean, at the time, you're not happy.
Absolutely.
At the time, you're upset. You're like,
so many cuss words going off. Absolutely.
You're like, I can't believe you're being so unreasonable. But it helps you to, it's kind of like a rubber band. You go back and, you're able to stretch and then come back, but you don't break. You just learn to navigate things. I guess that's going to be probably one of the harder things. But you come back and you're able to just move forward, like I said. And the girls can see that. They're like, okay, well, it was kind of unfair. I wanted to spend more time, but I got to go back. Or Dad's picking me up, or whatever the case may be. So, again, you come back to it.
Absolutely. I love that. That's dope. I can see the co-parenting aspect, especially when there are difficulties going on or things are running good. As long as you guys have the best interests at the end of the day. Kind of jealous, because I wish. I know there's a lot of people that came co-parenting with the child's other biological parent, and it sucks, man. I see it on both ends, But then I also see the amazing co-parenting. I see kids being raised in the same household and how they end up. It's a big difference. I would say personal experience. So I was raised with my mother, and my dad had, I want to make sure, 5 kids, and then his my oldest sister, my stepsister, which was by marriage or whatever. They are extremely well-rounded with 2 parents in the household, versus me and my siblings and things like that had to learn a lot of things on our own, and really makes a big difference. So you just coming here sharing your story on how you guys make it happen for the kids is everything. I'm sure it's gonna help somebody.
I'm going to be honest, it's taken time.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen right away because nobody wants to have two homes.
Absolutely.
And nobody goes into life saying, I'm going to have two homes for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it does take time to get to that point. For me, God surrounded me with amazing people
So
in
come
my
on,
life.
talk about it. Yes.
When this change happened, it's not something you even believe is going to happen to you until it happens, and to be able to cope with that, he placed people in my life
Absolutely.
that were able to help me navigate through some of this situation, and then they were able to help me get grounded, to be able to say, okay, this is a tough situation. And I actually, through church, I did a program. It's called Stephen Ministry. And so you walk along somebody who's had a difficult time. And when I started this particular program, as I was searching, I'm like, okay, no one in my family has ever done this. They've never walked through this. They don't understand what I'm going through and the emotions and everything. And so I needed somebody who had been through the situation before, who could walk with me and understand exactly what I was going through. And so when this program was offered, that's exactly what I asked for. I said, I need you to find me a person who has walked this walk, because I need somebody who understands.
Absolutely.
Somebody else who hasn't been through the situation is just going to say, I'm sorry, I hear you, I understand you. But they don't unless you've walked it. And so God was able to place this person. And it was amazing how God worked throughout the entire situation. And to this day, I'm friends with this person. I mean, it was a huge blessing. So my faith was it has been a huge part of being able to walk this part of my life, and to be able to be a mom that has been like, okay, what's next? How do we do this? So yeah, he put amazing people in my life. My faith has grown as well.
Come on.
Because I had to. Like, where else was I gonna go?
Absolutely. No, I love that. Like, and the way that works is so universal. So I can relate to the same thing with just being a parent. My partner that I do the podcast with, Ricky, I'm gonna get to him actually, but when I first came in this area, first all I had was my little brothers and sisters, my pops and them, or whatever. So I didn't have anybody I was close to. So I'm from Rockford, and so now I'm in this area, and one of the first people I ran into was a younger guy, about 18, 19. I think he about like 20, 21 actually right now, and he's a single parent. So, like you said, like when God put people in your life that has experienced the same things that you're going through, he's a fresh single parent, because his son is, I want to say, about 2 years old now.
Okay.
Probably not even a full 2 years, but I was able to be that for him. So let's fast forward a little bit, and then I run into the guy that I'm currently doing a podcast with now. He has 4 kids. And he take care of them by himself. I don't want to tell the story because we're gonna do that together. So, but he has 4 kids, and he stays right up the street from me. And I just so happened to meet him by going in the gas station. He was working there, and we just got to talking and stuff. And now I have somebody that's been doing it by themselves for a while, and now they can, be that person for me. So it's like when you're real passionate and you committed to something, God's definitely start putting those pieces around you, just let you know, like, I got you. You're gonna be okay.
Absolutely. I think that we don't understand why we go through the things we go through, and one of the things that I'm a firm believer is that we go through trials not because God's a bad God, or because He's out to get us. Some of it is consequences for our choices, but He allows us to go through trials because we're going to come through it, and like you said, we're going to be able to come alongside somebody who needs that person who's been through it before.
Absolutely.
And we would not have that compassion for somebody if we hadn't gone through it ourselves.
Absolutely.
There's just no way.
Absolutely. Yeah, you attract the people that you are and that you want around you. So that's so powerful. In your experience, how important it is to establish clear boundaries and expectations when co-parenting with your kid's father?
It's extremely important, I think, on both ends. I think being able to respect each other's boundaries, respect each other's homes is essential. We may not agree on everything that's happening there, but we can come together. If there is an issue, we can come together and have a conversation and then
try to find a compromise.
Yes, exactly. Find a compromise because, again, it's going to be a non-ending battle. You don't want battles. You don't want more conflict. What you want is the resolution is just to have peace and to be able to have your kids as healthy as possible. For me, I feel like we're blessed that my kids aren't perfect, but
no such thing.
There is no such thing. They're level-headed. We can come and have conversations, the girls and I. If I need to address anything, it gets addressed. The same thing goes on his end. If he needs to address something, he addresses it. So that has to happen. It's vital. For me, I feel like peace is an ultimate win, and have healthy kids that are going to be able to be successful.
Absolutely.
And without boundaries, without any of that, it just causes chaos.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like the non-negotiables. Like everybody have their non-negotiables, like what you're willing to compromise and what you're not willing to compromise. So when those non-negotiables come up, it's like if you don't find a medium or a balance or something, it definitely could bring some chaos. And I can see arguments and stuff sparking off of that type of deal. But as long as you have the best interests of the kids.
Exactly. And you also, again, have to respect each other. Households are obviously two different households, two different homes. I think for us, fundamentally, we're similar in a lot of things. So that hasn't been an issue that has been brought up, like, oh, why'd you do this, why'd you do that. So I think I'm fortunate in that aspect. And we kind of just mind our own home. This is my home.
That's awesome.
This is my home. I love my girls. This is your home. I know you love my girls as well. And so I'm very fortunate that my girl's father is just he is a man who loves his girls.
Absolutely.
So super fortunate with that.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Shouts out to him for sure. Yes. That's amazing. One of the issues I can see that can go wrong with a two-parent household. With separate houses, is one parent bashing the other parent in front of the kids. And personally, with my situation, with my and I tell you, I'm writing a book. I'm letting y'all know for sure. Look out for my book. I'm writing a book for sure. How dramatic things was, how much trauma we had to endure, how mad I can get, or no matter what feelings I'm going through at the time, I don't disrespect their mother in front of their kids. In front of our kids. So I think that's a very good aspect. So as of right now, my kids just have the image of mom's just going through some things. She need to get her stuff together type of deal. Not all the extra stuff that's really going on, but I think that's dope. My mom actually did that to me with my father, and that just made me want to see him more. You know what I'm saying? So it just it's like I gotta. What she was saying, I didn't believe this and that or whatever. And shouts out to my dad. He's coming on the podcast as well. And me and him real tight. I was actually chopping it up with him at least 4 or 5 hours at his house earlier today. One of my biggest, actually my main support system is my pops and my mom, his wife. So, but yeah.
Nice.
Have you found any positive aspects or unexpected joys in the co-parenting journey that you didn't anticipate?
That's a tough question, because you don't. How do you answer that? That was my first thought. How do I answer that? Um, Unexpected joys. I could take it so many different avenues,
Give
and
us
I
one.
think one of the things that it's a, I have my time with them.
Mm-hmm.
My time is sacred with them, and so my older one, she's a young adult, so she's in school. She's got a job, and so and I think this would have happened regardless of having two homes. But I feel like the bond and the connection, and we can have those conversations, are sweeter.
Nice.
They're sweeter. I enjoy them. My younger one, I don't want to get emotional.
Come on now.
It's my younger one. The same thing. I'm seeing her. I'm enjoying those moments. Like I'm seeing who she's becoming, and so even when she was tiny, she was very vocal, very musical, and I thought, she's gonna grow up to maybe go into that, and then it was like, no, not interested, and then all of a sudden she's like, Mom, I'm gonna join the drama club. She did this last year.
Nice.
And I'm like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? No, I'm just gonna be part of the crew. I'm like, okay, well, hey, that's great. We went, we supported her, and then this year she said, I'm doing it again. I'm like, oh, cool. What, you're gonna do the crew? She's like, no, I'm gonna be
actually in it. Right.
In it.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, no way. I'm like, so cool. And so we mess with her. We tease her about it's Peter Pan, so the different characters, and so that's, I think, a joy that the three of us can come together, and whether we're in the car, whether we're at home at the kitchen table, we're cooking, whatever. Like I just, those moments, I enjoy them.
Priceless.
And like they're mine. Like this is my time with them, no matter what. And I don't know if being in a home, I mean, I would hope that I would enjoy them and love them and, treasure them. But I see a lot of parents who do have that family unit, and I see a lot of fighting and bickering. And I'm like, they're your kids. Like, you gotta enjoy them.
Absolutely.
And so,
not everybody has a deep love like you have. It's okay. It's a good love. Okay.
It just, I think this is one of the things you really get to enjoy them. You understand the immense gift that God gave you when He gave you your kids. Because I've always said that they're a gift from God.
Absolutely.
And, like, to be able to be those girls' mom, and I don't do it right all the time, but just to know that He gifted them to me.
Absolutely.
That is, aside from salvation, awesome gifts.
Come on now. Absolutely.
Sorry.
That's amazing, man. That's just that's your passion talking. Like when you're passionate about something, there's nothing you can stop. Like to just go in about it, man. That's so dope. Like that's really dope. That's real dope. And that's the same thing with me. Like my kids be tripping me out, man. And then like especially, I know it's the same thing. You in your room or something, they're in the living room or something. You just hear their conversations, and then you just think about the conversations they had 2 years ago, 3-4 years ago versus now. It's just the development, the growth. It's amazing. I love it so much, man. Then I see how much they are of me. Like my kids, I'm a very goofy person. I know I come off extremely serious and I got a natural mug, but I laugh 97% of my day. Like I don't care how bad something is, how good something is. I always find the good in the bad, and I just end up laughing just throughout my day. So my kids are goofballs. When I say goofballs, they're goofballs,
Yeah.
And,
That's our experience too. We goof around, we joke, we act silly, And I don't. I mean, I think I would still be the same kind of mom, but I get to. I feel like I have that permission because I think I'd be more serious if I didn't have this. So that is a joy to be able to. Like, I'm not trying to be their best friend because they have plenty of friends.
Absolutely.
But to have that permission to goof around with them and act silly and it is pure joy.
Absolutely.
It is pure joy to be able to do that and just enjoy them and hopefully they enjoy me too. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? I wonder that all the time. I was like, do my kids really mess with me, man? And my kids are huggers. So it's like I wake up to hugs. Like literally, if on the weekends or something, I'm sleeping in. My oldest is 14, so they straight when they wake up. If I'm sleeping too long, my youngest come in my room. She'll hug me. I'll wake up, look at her. She'll kiss me on the cheek and walk right out the door. But a couple hours later, I'll be like, "Hey, babe, you want to do something together?" Something like, "Nah, I'm fine. I'm going to hang with Sissy." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." It's just my feelings,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's dope though, man. And I love their bond too. Like I said, man, they go through a lot throughout the day. On our way here, it was definitely a conversation. It was a whole bunch of, hey, don't say that. That's not nice. This, that, stuff like that. But like I said, at the end of the day, they're inseparable.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah.
That's also something that I can say for my girls. Same thing. They'll bicker with each other. They'll fight. Or messing back and forth. As soon as something happens, though, for example, somebody accidentally gets hurt, and I've seen their reaction. They stop and they're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." And to be able to see that, okay, we're doing something right, because obviously I'm not going to take all the credit. Their dad is part of it too.
Absolutely.
So I was like, "Oh, cool.
That's
Good.
Dope. That's dope. No,
Good.
that's, to answer my question, I said to myself just now was trying to figure out sometimes, like, do my kids really mess with me? So my big self decided to go out the house the other day with Crocs on.
Okay.
We know what the weather is right now, man.
Yeah.
And I have stairs going to my back door, and I'm coming out the back door, and I want to say at least 20 steps. Steep, pretty high. I fell from the top steps, and when I tell you, I fell so long, I literally closed my eyes and was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be a ride from here." It just started falling. But my kids, my oldest, she yelled at the top of her lungs, "Dad, you okay?" And my youngest was like, "Dad, you okay?" And they all ran to me and stuff, and I was like, I was messed up, by the way. I'm talking. I still got the scars on my back. I got my legs were scraped up. It was a wrap. I thought I was gonna have to need some medical attention. I got to saying to myself, like, did I get a concussion? Like, it was a wrap. But yeah, just see how they was, I wouldn't say panicking, but they were ready. Like, they were extremely ready.
Well, I mean, they're checking in on you, making sure you're fine. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely one of those ones that remind you of, like, it's worth it, brother. Keep going, man. Just keep going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, man, girl, your view of just your passion. Are we not talking about photography? Like what? Like this is a photographer, by the way. Before I even get into what I was about to get into, this is a full-blown photography. She took some pictures of some of my resin projects that I made, and they were amazing. Like amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. I know that was a while ago. And with me being a jack of all trades and a master of nothing, I be everywhere. So I started last night to use them same pictures to put together a website. So
great.
I can, people can start ordering things, whatever. So that's something that me and my kids do together.
Okay.
And but yeah, your point of view on everything was amazing. I'm sure this story is going to touch somebody. It's going to help somebody, inspire somebody. Like, that's why I did this myself. And just being a full-time parent. I had so many examples I was growing up around. Like my mom was a single parent, and this what I'm saying is basically a cycle. So, but it's reality at the same time. My mom was a single parent. All my friends, their parents, their moms were single parents. I got a buddy. He had two older sisters that ended up being single parents, and I'm watching all this. So when it was my time to do it, I didn't second guess it. I didn't question it. Was I nervous? Of course. Nobody's ready to be a parent, but when it was time to go, it was time to go. I strapped them boots up and tied them tight. Military style, all the way up to the, you past the calf. So
you have to, like I said, you're given this amazing gift of a child, and whether you're ready or not, you got to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And we don't have we may not have all the instructions, but we have guidance.
Absolutely.
We have guidance everywhere. We just have to look for the correct guidance.
Absolutely. Like it's a blessing, man. I think that's a wrap, ma'am. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Well, thank you so much. When you told me the topic, of course, happy to be here and give my little 2 cents on it. And I am an emotional person. It's the nature of who I am.
Absolutely. No, man, ain't no reason to explain none of that. That's your passion.
And I'm blessed though.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm blessed regardless of, we all want the fairy tale life.
Absolutely.
And our tales come out however they come out. But again, it's for a reason.
Absolutely.
To be able to assist somebody else in need. And I think you get a lot of satisfaction in that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I truly feel like no life is born by accident. I think every person that was ever had the pleasure to exist affected somebody else's life in some shape, form, or fashion. So, man, I cherish every moment. My nickname is All Love. Okay. I really love people. Like everywhere I go, like genuinely, like it's like I'm always keeping people mental health and things like that in mind when I meet people. Mm-hmm. So you would never get a angry or just like any type of disrespect from me first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. You treat everybody as an individual. And that's how it should be. And
absolutely.
We don't know what people are carrying. We don't know their history. We don't know anything about them. We have a momentary time to cross that path, and hopefully it's a positive one.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you can learn something from it, if it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say that I'm a blessing, but I'd like to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're not always. Yeah. Because sometimes you're in your own little.
Yeah.
Your own little world.
I think overall, when you have good intentions, when you do things, that just makes you a blessing automatically, whether you feel like you're not. If you're going to anything with good intentions, and good intentions can be perspective. Mm-hmm. Like you could think something is good, and somebody else can think like, no, it's whatever. But that's the beauty of being your own entity, your own person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You get to decide that. You know what I mean? So I'm happy. This is Fulltime Father Podcast, y'all. I don't even know how to end this one.
Well, thank you again for the invite, and it has been my pleasure. And I look forward to you seeing the rest of once you're ready to send them all out. I want to be in line to check them out.
Yes, ma'am. So. Awesome. Yes, Fulltime Father Podcast, man. Thank you so much, Elle, for dropping by and giving us this game, man. Once again, there's no love like all love. Y'all have a blessed one. We good, brother. Man, come on, girl. Come on, man. Bring it on in, man. Yes.
No, yes. Thank you.
That was amazing.